Able to start on time. Name is Patrick from Art Storefronts. I run the marketing department here. Excited for today's Zoom session. Let me go over the agenda quickly. So what we're going to do, I'm going to toss it over to Taylor. He is going to give you sort of a brief, high-level demonstration of some of the bells and the whistles of the software and the marketing product and sort of what we do. And then I will take it back from him, go on a short little rant, and then once I'm done with the rant, right into your Q&A, which is the best part of the whole thing. So what are you struggling with? What do you need help with? What are your biggest pain points? Anything about the software? You want to talk about 9/11? Let's not talk about 9/11, but it's crazy that was 19 years ago. Okay, Taylor, go ahead, take it away, and then I'll see you guys on the other side of that.
All right, everybody, welcome to today's session. My name's Taylor. I'm on the marketing team at Art Storefronts, one of the people putting together our many resources and consulting and mentoring our members on a regular basis in workshops like these. Today's session is for non-members, so this is a free, wide-open session, and how it's a little bit different than what you get as a member. Our member workshops, which we hold 5 times a week at this point on various topics, are largely tactical, right? So it's giving our members ongoing advice, tweaks to their strategy, checking in with them, seeing how far they've gotten since we last spoke, and making sure their business is always growing. By contrast, today will be largely about what we call unclogging the drain. Before you're even ready for tactical or strategic advice, you need to get the big thing out of the way. And we found through these non-member workshops that most artists and photographers out there have something. They have a big thing in their way. It can be a mindset problem, some kind of self-limiting belief that if you just simply do away with it, the path becomes clear. Or it could be something more practical, like not doing something that you really need to be doing. Whatever it is, we're going to find out about it today and fix it for you. Before we get into all that good stuff, I have 2 segments for you up top here, opening remarks. The first one, stuff you need to know about this workshop, how it works. The second, a little bit of an overview on Art Storefronts, just to get some context, set the stage, who we are and what we do. First up, the need to know information about today's workshop. To get in line to chat with us, right? To get unmuted and start to get some help, you need to use the raise hand button in Zoom. So at the bottom of your Zoom window, you'll see the participants button. You're going to hit that, and that'll open this on the right-hand side, where you'll find the blue raise hand button. You hit that, and that will do it. Raise hand. You'll see up here, your name will show the blue raise hand button. That's the system we use. We go top to bottom, unmuting everyone that has their hand raised and helping them out. So if you have a question up front, you want to talk to us, you can do that right now and get early in line, so you'll be one of the first people to get some help today. If something comes up later and you don't have a question yet, but something comes to mind, you can always do it later in the session too. The second thing you need to know is that we have a page that we call the show notes. And that's where we aggregate all of the links to resources that come up today. So if one of us says we have a really good video about that, or we say we actually have a podcast episode that would help you out, you don't need to be hunting around for that in the moment. We're doing that for you. We're collecting it all. Here's what the page looks like. We're going to send this to you after today's session ends. We're going to email it to you. So you'll find the replay at the top. Right, so if you have to leave early or you arrived late, or even if you missed it altogether, you can always catch up with the replay here. And then this is the show notes section I was talking about. All the links will be there, everything that came up. So you'll have that. Don't worry about looking anything up. In the moment, we're taking care of it. I should also mention on this page while you're here, there are a couple of request a demo buttons. Those are your go-to spots for either signing up if you just want to get going, or reaching out to us, having a more in-depth chat about our features and our pricing and stuff like that. That's how you start those conversations. If you just want to do your research and get to know us, see if there's a good fit, you hit the request a demo button, you fill out the form, and we'll get in touch. That's how you do that. Okay, second segment today, what even is Art Storefronts, okay? So here is the very quick overview. And like I said, the demo is where they go in depth. They'll do an hour for you. They'll answer as many questions as you have. But today, I don't know how many people here already know everything about us, nothing about us. So I'll just go right down the middle and do a very quick overview. There are 2 halves to Art Storefronts. There is the website software, right? So that is the art selling website. And then there's the marketing program, and that is really the fuel for that website engine. The website could be fantastic. We believe it's the best website software for artists ever designed. We really believe that, and I'll show you why in a moment. However, all of the power of that website is meaningless if there's no one on it. So the marketing program is what completes the whole membership. I'll show you both halves now, starting with the website. There are hundreds of features. It is very difficult to give you a full overview of everything that's going on with this software. So I think I will just show you what's really most important, right? The product page. At the end of the day, everything on your website is designed around getting people here to the product page where then they can check out and buy your artwork. So what is the big deal with these product pages? To explain that, let's just clarify that I'm showing you an artwork product page today. That's the important one. We also have what we call standard product pages, and that's where you can sell anything. If you have ceramics, jewelry, clothing, you can sell all of those product types on art storefronts. It does not need to be solely wall art. But I want to show you the wall art product page because there's an important thing to get straight here. These pages are set up specifically to sell wall art. That's in contrast to a website provider like Squarespace that has to have their product pages work for all product types, whether you're selling artwork or toilet paper or electric scooters, right? It works for everything, which creates a master of none situation when it comes to their features. They have not considered artwork in particular, so they have not addressed the problems, the challenges with selling artwork online like we have. The big deal with selling artwork online is that there is a lot of friction. It is not a product like toilet paper or electric scooters where you want what it does and you find the one that you like and you buy it. It's a little more complicated than that. Buying art is an emotional journey. You fall in love with the work. You get to know the artist through their emails and their social media posts. You save up for it. Eventually you get the wall space open, but even then you have questions like which piece should I select and how is it going to look with my wall paint color? How's it going to work with the other pieces of artwork in my collection? Will my spouse like it? How do I show it to them in the best way? What are the media types available? I've never heard of this word acrylic. Is that worth looking into? What size is going to work for my space? I don't want it to look too small or of course too big. All of these questions are where you lose sales. People have those questions. Your website does not answer them and they never get it answered. They leave. You cannot rely on people reaching out to you actively to ask these questions, right? Your website needs to passively answer them for you all the time. Whenever that question comes up, whichever one it is, your website comes in and says, oh, here you go. Got the help for you right here. Problem solved. Keep going. Keep making the purchase, right? That is what maximizes art sales. Let's start by just looking at the layout of the page. Image on the left, buying options on the right. Not below, not somewhere down the page you need to scroll to find. Everything is visible on one screen and it's all expanded. There's not drop downs. Everything is image based. This is like the express lane to checking out artwork online. Beyond that, you can offer every version of an image side by side. The open edition prints are right here. With one click, you can start shopping the limited edition prints, signed and numbered, highest quality, that sort of thing. With another click, you're over to the original version of that image. If the original is available, you could step up and buy it right here. Finally, the multi-panel. This is where you break up a single image into 3 prints, right? So it's a huge upsell. You turn one print sale into 3, very sleek and modern presentation. I love that one. If you don't offer one of these media types, like you're a photographer, so you don't have originals, you wouldn't have this tab on your website. This is just showing all the possible options, but you'll set it up to whatever you actually offer. So if you don't have limited editions, it's gone. It's not on your actual site. It adapts to what you actually sell. Within these, let's look at the open edition prints. Now, the big challenge there is explaining the media types. The average art consumer does not know terms like canvas gallery wrap, G-clay print, metal, acrylic. They don't know what these look like. They don't know what they are. So it becomes difficult to make a smart decision until they do. So the website's job is to educate them very quickly and visually. So here's how we've done that. When you click on one of the media types, the preview over on the left-hand side adapts in a subtle way. So this adds a little bit of virtual depth to this image because we've selected the canvas option. That clues people in, oh, this is that traditional thick gallery look. Beyond that, maybe they don't know what metal is, you can hover on these tooltips here, the little question marks, and then you can launch a video. These are custom videos we've produced just for our members that show every angle of these media types and summarize the benefits. They're about 15 seconds long, and they instantly create that connection of, oh, that is what I want. Very powerful. Beyond those buying tools, you have the visualization tools. This is for questions like, I love the piece, I know I want it on metal, I'm just not sure if it's really gonna look good in my space, or how large I should buy. That's where the visualization tools come in. Wall preview is the starter there. You can select a room type, and you can get going very quickly, a good representation of what size you need, right? So let's step it up. The 30, that looks good. The 32 looks even better, right? You're stepping it in. We've got wall color here. These aren't random. These are the top selling paint colors from last year from Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams. So there's a high likelihood your buyers will actually find their real wall color right in here. Very simple, very fast. So this helps clear up some of those questions, but we take it to the next level with live room preview. You can see the button here, and also on the product page right here, live preview AR. This is an augmented reality tool that allows people to use their mobile or tablet device to visualize the artwork on their actual wall, not a virtual space, not a hypothetical wall, their actual wall space. So you can see in this video here, it projects it onto their wall. They can start to select the sizing and see how everything looks. They can move it around the wall space, and now there is no translation problem, right? It is not close to their wall color or whatever. It is their real actual space. The most powerful part of this feature, because other websites have this type of functionality via an app. Ours works in the web browser. There is no downloading and installing an app. They're right in the checkout process. They pop open this tool. It works on their phone. They close the tool once they're happy, and they continue checking out. That is the game-changing part of it. So overall, I think that does a good job of summarizing a few of the features of the product page here, but that is your drop in the bucket overview. It goes on and on. Art Buyer AI recognizes and informs you when a likely collector has visited your site. We have tools that allow you to fire off very quick emails to welcome personally new subscribers, to reach out when someone has added something to their cart but not checked out, right? Give you a shot to close that sale. The features really go on and on, QR codes, selling sheets. I couldn't possibly summarize it today. Request a demo if you want to see a little bit more. But that is the engine, the Ferrari in your driveway. Let's talk about the fuel that goes in it, the marketing program. Of course, when it comes to artists, you guys do not want to be marketing. I understand that completely. You want to be creating the work and selling it. That's it. But the in-between step is very necessary, and it is marketing. So let's talk about how we make that process as painless as possible while still getting you doing the work that you must do to grow a small business. The centerpiece to our marketing program, where it all comes back to, is the art marketing calendar. That is the core piece. Everything else just supports this. The marketing calendar is a daily plan that tells you exactly what to do every single day of the year. It provides you with all the email language you'll need to pull off sales, a Black Friday sale, something like that. And it gives you the advice that you need to turn your casual followers into leads. That's people on your email list. Your leads into first-time buyers, and your buyers into lifelong repeat collectors. We walk you through it on a daily basis. It is not overwhelming. It is not a knowledge base where you need to watch 55 videos and then just implement what they said. All you need to do is look at today. We're on Wednesday. What do they say to do? I have 3 tasks to complete. It should take me about 30 minutes. Let's do it. 3 tasks. 1, 2, 3, knocked it out. You have done what you need to do for your business today. It's that simple. Let's look at what this thing is. So up top, attention newbies. This is a section with 4 steps we want our new members to complete before they get down to the full calendar. Some highlights here. We have a workshop every Wednesday where our marketing team will look at your new Art Storefront's website, go through the major pages, and make sure that it's set up according to best practices from a marketing point of view, right? So before you even launch, you make sure you're going to be closing every possible sale. We also have a campaign, a 14-day campaign that we want all all new members to execute. It's just like the calendar. It tells you what to do day by day. Post this message on Facebook and post this message on Instagram and send this email. Very simple to follow. And that campaign is themed around celebrating your new website in a way that will generate you some leads and maybe some sales too right up top. So we ask everyone to do that before getting into the calendar with everyone else. Below the newbie section, we have the live workshop schedule that has your look at what's coming up this week, when you can join us in Zoom in our members only workshops. We have some announcements that go here. We have a strategic overview, step 3. This section is written by our CEO and our director of marketing, and in it, they give you their advice, what they would do if they were running your business this month, where your head should be at, right? So the calendar below is your daily bit by bit look. This section is the high level overview, what you should be thinking about your major goals for the month. And then you have the calendar itself. You can see it's day by day. We have a bit of hierarchy here where we put the most important tasks in red and everything else in black. Nothing goes on here that's not important to do, right? So the black tasks are not unimportant. It's just that if you have very limited time, you have family obligations, a part or full-time job, and you can't get to the entire calendar, no problem. Do the red stuff first, and then if you have extra time, do the black tasks. Most people have no problem completing 75% or more of the calendar, though. It's not a huge obligation because we do so much of the work up front for you in terms of writing the subject lines you should be sending and giving you lots of examples whenever anything needs to be created. It's day by day. You've got the major task of the day, and then you've got Go to Tasks, a button that jumps you down the page to the full explanation of the day. It'll give you an objective for the day and then break down what you need to be doing into tasks. 1, 2, 3, do these things. Very easy to follow. Everything else, like I said, supports this system. So our workshops in general are supporting our members as they're following this calendar. You check in with us, you say, I did the Saturday, Sunday task, and I got these results. What can I do to boost them even further? Or I see next week I need to be doing this, but I don't have my head around it fully yet. Can you talk to me a little bit more about it? All that sort of stuff. We make sure our members are moving together through the calendar all at the same time. When we do something new, right? So we've recently started doing these live art shows. We have a playbook on how to execute a live art show from home. And our members are having some huge successes with this, selling dozens of pieces from home on Instagram or Facebook Live. That is an example of something where after everyone does this together, we have hundreds, maybe even 1,000 people running these live shows simultaneously. Then the following week, we have 6 or 7 or 8 of the people that had the most success with that strategy come on a live workshop for our members and just talk through what they did. We hear out, how did they address it specifically? Was there anything that was a little different than anyone else? How did they see that success? That way all of the members can hear what's working from the other members, and then we go ahead and update all of our playbooks with the new learnings. So there is nothing in this program that is static, that is a dead blog post style article from 6 years ago that may or may not be relevant today. We are updating these things on a weekly basis, checking in with our members. If enough people report that this part didn't work for them, it didn't really seem to do anything, it gets pulled out, right? We are live adjusting all of our resources so that when you join in, you get the learnings of the past several years just baked into everything. So I've talked a lot about how our members interact with us, get mentorship and consulting from us via the workshops, but we also have a venue for them to get help from each other when they need to talk shop or just get input from a whole bunch of artists really quick on a topic like, how do you address shipping? How do you go about some kind of tax situation? All that sort of stuff. The Small Wins Facebook group is the place for that. It's private, just for our members, and that is where they go to ask for help, share their small wins, as we call it, all the little successes that stack up into a successful business. Does anyone know how to patent or copyright a design? Get some help from our members on that. So this is the place to go when you need to quickly poll a huge group of people that have gotten further than you, right? That already have gotten where you want to go and have the learnings, the quick learnings that they can summarize for you. Between all of these resources that all fall back on the calendar, you have a marketing system that keeps you in line, that keeps you moving, that does not simply present you with 1,000 hours of content and asks you to explore it at your own pace, figure out for yourself which things you should be following and which things you should ignore. This is about the calendar. It's about cutting out all the time you waste thinking about what you should and shouldn't be doing. That is the time saver here, the big game changer. You no longer need to think about all the possible things. We've already done that. We've highlighted what you should be doing, the best return on your time. All right, that is my rant. I was going to say short rant. I know it wasn't short, but it's very difficult to compress everything we have going on into a format like this. So thanks for listening. Again, the website is your engine. The marketing program is the fuel for that engine. So with that said, let's get into the consulting. I think we're all on the same page now, so let's do that drain unclogging I talked about in the beginning. I'll turn it over to our hosts.
All right. Thank you, Taylor. I think we're all on the same page. Are we all on the same page? Okay, so a couple of you guys have hands raised already. Taylor's gone, so I'll be getting into those questions. Excuse me. Taylor's kind of gone over the product high level, independent of the website solution, all the technology, all the marketing help. Our BHAG, our big, hairy, audacious goal is to solve the starving artist problem. And we think kind of arrived at through trial and error and everything that we've done over the years. We've been at this for, I think, 7 years and change now. Really what we want to do is we want to take artists and photographers and put them on a path to having a 6-figure a year plus business. That's our goal. That's sort of the benchmark. And, many of you guys on this call will just be getting started, never sold anything. And you're like, whoa, that number's way out there. And some of you will have a little bit of steam. It's a big number for sure. What percentage of our customers are on, well above 6 figures? Not a lot, but a good number of them, right? A good number of them. And, we like to think that we have everyone else on the path to doing that. And I think underpinning this notion of a 6-figure a year plus art business, and it's sort of, aim for the stars, land in the clouds goal, are what we call 5 pillars. Okay. And the 5 pillars that underpin this, and 4 of them are really substantive about how you need to think about your business. The first one is what we call unclog the drain, and it's in many ways the most important one. And since March, I think I've talked to and done the Q&A 350 to 500 questions a week from artists and photographers, and you do that enough, and it turns out pattern recognition becomes a real thing. You start to see these same things happening again and again and again and again. And so the unclog the drain is this concept that we came up with, which artists and photographers get these things in their head and they become a clog in the drain. And before any substantive steps can be taken towards growing your actual business and dealing with the other 4 pillars, which we'll get to in a minute, you've got to get this thing out of the drain. And it's, a whole bunch of different situations and different items. It's perfectionism. Okay, which a ton of artists fall into. It's a massive problem, endemic in the art and photography industry. I'll launch the website when I just get this thing, that thing, and that thing perfect. 6 months later, 9 months later, a year later, the website's not live. You haven't worked on any marketing. Procrastination is a big one. Thinking that there is a website that exists out there where you're just going to upload your art, not do anything else, and grow a substantive business doesn't exist. Thinking that somehow there's a magical email list of high net worth individuals floating around, and if you just find that list, you're gonna make it. Thinking that there's some sort of special size, and if you just knew what the size was, your business would be great. If there's just a price point or a media type, or you don't know what your niche is and you can't narrow down your niche, you have 2 different styles. How do you combine them? There's a whole bunch of these tropes. And it's like nonsense most of the time. Like you pick these things up, somebody told you, or you read it somewhere, and whoever told you that has never sold anything in their entire life in most cases. There's a gal that was on these calls a couple of weeks ago, and she had her site live for 3 days now, and I think she's a little over $2,200 in sales. And I'm by no means taking credit for that. She's got great style, great art, and everything else. Her whole problem was self-confidence. She just didn't have the self-confidence. That was the clog that was in her drain from taking any substantive steps. She did not have the self-confidence to properly quote price. She didn't have the self-confidence to deal with like shipping after the fact. She was like hung up on this nonsense stuff. She gets her site live and she's immediately getting orders. And so I see it time and time and time again. So when we get into the Q&A on this, rather than talking about tactical stuff or your Facebook ad strategy or SEO or why your stuff's selling or not selling, the majority of it is going to be the stuff in the drain. And it's just like a lot of times if you can just get that out, get out of your own way, you're on the path. That's number one. Number two, understand the business model. The way that we like to phrase it is DTC or die, okay? Meaning direct to consumer. And this is like massively underscored in a COVID world, right? What were many doing before? Perhaps you were in a gallery. Perhaps you were doing the local fairs and shows. Perhaps you were uploading to Etsy, Redbubble, Fine Art America. All of a sudden, COVID hits. All your offline revenue sources are toast. The majority of the galleries are closed, and you don't own any of your customers because you've been on these various different sites or through galleries. And you don't have to get a whole lot right in this business, but you can't get a whole lot wrong. And the one big thing that you can't get wrong is you have to own your own customer data, okay? You have to be able to contact these people in perpetuity, okay? You need to know who they are. You need to be able to continue to market to them. Like your whole goal really as an artist or photographer is to continually develop a list of collectors. Yes, people are going to buy your art and then they're going to disappear, but a collector will buy to 6 to 7 to 10 to 15 different pieces of your art over your lifetime. And if you're not collecting those and constantly marketing to those, you're not in the game. So it's got to be direct to consumer. That's everything that we advocate for. Number 3, the secret to effective marketing. Taking me a long time, a whole career in marketing to figure this out. There is no damn secret, okay? Never has been a secret. It's only 2 things. It's only 2 things, okay? It's focusing your time, energy, and effort on the highest ROI marketing activities, okay? ROI, return on investment, looking dollars, time, anything in between, right? How do I know what those are? Really good at marketing to begin with. I'm arrogant, but also really good at marketing. I've been doing this a long time. My fingernails are in the dirt all day. But that's not enough. I've got the data on 4,300, 4,400, whatever we're at now, customers, and I get to see who's kicking butt. I look at their traffic channels, I analyze it, and I see what's selling, what's not selling. And we're constantly bombarded with all this nonsense, right? Should I do SEO? Oh, there's this new platform. Maybe I should get all on TikTok, right? And you constantly hear these things, and then you go chasing after them like a shiny object. You work on them for like 3 months, you get nowhere, and you quit, right? So is much of what I'm advocating and what I teach, what we teach, is yes, focusing on the high ROI stuff, but it's equally important ignoring all the rest of the nonsense, right? Like I have seen 7 years of data. I have not seen one, okay, a single solitary artist, which is not to say someone's not out there. I'm waiting for him to come on this call. Make a dime off Pinterest. 0, goose egg, nothing. Do not waste your time on Pinterest. And so somebody on here has been doing a ton of marketing on Pinterest and getting a ton of pins and they love it and they think they're doing so well. You're wasting your time. If you took all of that time and you focused it on the high ROI stuff, you'd be way further down the road. So that's number 1. Number 2 is doing it consistently. Okay. Let me just ask if this sounds like any of you. This is going to be my year. I'm finally ready to take this seriously. I am so fired up to get marketing right now. You do it for 3 months, 4 months, maybe even 5 months, and you don't get the results. You start doubting yourself, second guessing yourself, and you quit, right? And then a year goes by and you haven't done any marketing, and then you rinse and repeat, right? So you need someone sometimes to poke you with a stick, okay, and whack you and say, stop it. You got to keep marketing consistently. You have to do it consistently, year in, year out. That's the game, full stop. The minute you come off the gas, do not ever underestimate momentum. It is a powerful, powerful thing. So no one quits. Secret to marketing, high ROI, doing it consistently. 4, what we like to call the inputs. And this sort of comes back from like the drain thing. 1, I have a lot of data. I know who's selling well. I know who's not selling well. I've heard everything under the sun. And when we say the inputs, there's like famous line, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? And I love that line, and it's so true. Stated another way on the inputs, turn off cable news right now. Turn off print journalism. Turn off the news, period. Get it out of your life. Tell me how much better you feel as a human being in 2 weeks. All of a sudden, you like everybody. All of a sudden, you're not racist. All of a sudden, you like your country, your neighbors. Everybody wants to hang out. Like, we're feeling good. Those inputs exist, like the cancer that is the news today. Those inputs exist, and I don't know where they come from in the art world, okay, in the photography world, but they're out there. And they are just like endemic, as like anything else. Art doesn't sell online, so they don't even bother. Never discount your work. It cheapens the value of it. Do you know who doesn't discount in this world? Louis Vuitton and Tiffany's. I've not found another brand. Are you saying your art's as good as Louis Vuitton or Tiffany? Well, then what are you doing on this call, right? Go into the Bentley and take the freaking 3-day weekend. So there's all of these various different inputs, okay? And you have to get that nonsense out. All of those inputs end up being people that have never sold anything ever, online, offline, or any which way, and that you can't let them chirp in your head. So you really have to guard your inputs very, very carefully, and that's a really important one. The last one is just perspective. I spin this one a couple of different ways. Steve Jobs said it takes 3 to 5 years to build anything of value in today's day and age. And that's just when you're getting started, right? It's 3 to 5 years, and then the 7 to 9 years, and 10, 11, 12, when it really starts crushing it. But you guys are artists and photographers. It's not like you're going to go through a midlife crisis and not be a creative artist or a photographer. You're this for life. It's how you were made, right? And so you get the perspective of how long you're going to potentially be at this, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I've had people in their 90s on this, come on these Zoom calls. Not kidding. 2 weeks ago. So you have to have the perspective of how long it takes to build a big, healthy, happy, sustainable business, okay? And if you do, the analogy I give, it's like, when you're like, it doesn't matter how long the drive is, okay? Towards the tail end of the drive, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Start fidgeting the seat, right? Getting a little antsy. But if you have your mind, you're going to be driving from California to New York versus San Diego to LA. Your mind is just like way better. You're going, you're motoring, you're not letting things distract you. There is no are we there yet. So it's critical to have the perspective piece. Best part of everything though, you marry all those things together. I sort of feel like the art and photography world, COVID helped significantly, is having its Netflix blockbuster type of disruption. It's Uber taxi cab type of disruption. You can sell direct. You can sell worldwide. There's no one in the way. There is no middlemen. You can build your own customers. You can build a big business. So that's my rant. Went a little long-winded on a Friday because I'm excited it's a Friday. Ton of hands up already. I love it. We'll also clean up the comments in the chat. And for those that are answering or asking rather on YouTube and Facebook, I see those. I'll get them too. So LG Stylo 6. You didn't get to rename yourself, so I'm going to be forced to call you LG Stylo 6 until I know who you are. But you're up first, LG. You'll need
Okay.
Yeah,
How
gotcha.
you doing?
Good. What's your actual name?
John Tyson.
Okay. Hey, John. How you doing?
Yeah, this is my first time on Zoom, so
All good.
I just wanted to ask a quick question.
Yep.
When you first start out, how many prints should I have to offer up?
Yeah, great question. The short answer is 1, right? And let me explain. Everyone will get in their head like, okay, I'll just complete 30 pieces. And once I have the 30 pieces completed, then I'll be ready to launch and go live, right? If you've got 1 piece, you're ready to go. Put the piece up, get going on the website, start marketing, start taking some positive steps forward. Then every additional piece that you add just becomes another marketing moment. Hey guys, new item added to the store. Brandy would be the first to see it. And then number 3, and then number 4. But we get everything. That's the quick answer. You want to launch with your best sellers. You got 10 pieces, get going. Start marketing, start taking some forward steps. You got 50, okay, fine, 50. You want to start with 10 and slowly upload the other 40, fine. But get going is the long and the short.
I got another question real quick.
Go ahead.
Should I put pictures up that have different styles that I've done?
Yes,
or
absolutely.
Just to see which one?
Absolutely. Get this question all the time too. Early on, you don't know what you don't know. I can't tell you. Wesley on this call can't tell you. Lewis can't tell you. You have to take them to market, okay? And the market will tell you. You've got style that's out here in right field. You got a style that's out here in left field. You put them up. You start marketing. You see what gets the early bites. Then you decide if you want to go all in on that one or not. Like at the end of the day right now, given this world that we're in, your artistic style, vision, yeah, that's part of the brand, no question. But guess what? So are you. We've got some artists that do like a whole myriad of different styles. They're the brand, right? People are interested in them and who they are and their name and their vision. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And good job on your first Zoom. Got a question in already. Okay, Ofer's up next, and it's going to be Greg, Cash, Robert, Wesley, Rakenna, Susan. Okay, Ofer, and I hope I'm saying that right. Is it Ofer? Ophir?
It's Ophir.
Ophir. What's up, Ophir? How you doing?
Hi, Patrick. Nice to meet you on Zoom.
Yeah, ditto.
I got 2 questions, okay?
Okay.
One is super short term,
Okay.
and one is maybe a little bit long term. So I started listening to your podcast a couple of weeks ago, right about the time when I had a show opening up in New York City, in Chelsea. So like show opened on September 1st, and it comes down on the 26th. So my first question is, what things can I do? Now, haven't been a member, so what can I do right now to maximize, the effectiveness of the show that I have up? And I've already done a few things that you said on the podcast. So
Okay.
I started applying the 80-20 rule, just to clear, so I'm only dealing with the 80% on, that seems to give me the most effectiveness, right?
Yep.
I'm letting other things go. I started, for the very first time, I did a flash sale, like right even before the show opened, I did a flash sale.
Boom.
And
Love that.
got results. We made 4 sales in 24 hours and then another 4 sales after that. So it was great.
Huge.
I
I love hearing that, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. What'd you do it on Instagram or Facebook?
I did it. I mean, I heard you say it on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram more than Facebook. I don't really.
Yeah, all good. Go where your audience is.
Yeah, I went on Instagram and I clicked live just as a test, like the day you said to do it. I went live and all of a sudden there's like someone was watching me live. Like I was like, what? Someone's watching me. So I just said hi and hung up, and I knew how to do it. So then when I went to the gallery that evening, I went live and 7 people showed up, and I was like shocked. I couldn't believe it.
Amazing,
and
right?
And I gave them that time limit, like you said to do. I was like, okay, here's the discount. Here's 24 hours, and someone got in touch with me, and then like you said, stack the small wins. They weren't sure which one they wanted, so I gave them more options. So that and then they came back to me and they still weren't sure. So I gave them even more options and, a discount on how, if they keep taking more, I'll give them a little bit more discount. And in the end, this person took 4, and then someone else contacted me, and I think they were excited that the one they wanted was already taken. And then then I started sending them more options, and they ended up taking 4. So
it turns out FOMO is real, my friend. FOMO, the fear of missing out, is real. Powerful human motivator. What you want to do that you probably didn't pick up from the flash sales, by the way, is, and he's been listening to the podcast, so he knows what I'm talking about. The trick question: what is the best way to sell art or photography? Full stop, no question, in person, face to face. Turns out we are geographically fixed on this planet, and we have to sleep. So you got to have a website, open 24 hours, doesn't sleep, can service anyone. We are now in a new world. COVID has increased it. This technology has been around. Where in-person video selling, and I don't care, one-to-one, one-to-many, is the single solitary most powerful thing ever. Now, I don't know how successful Ophir's been, but he just sold 4 pieces, trying it for the first time with no additional investment whatsoever. All he did was grab his phone, press a button, and start talking. Now, obviously, he's got a social following, and he's been grinding on his marketing, right? So he's not starting from scratch. But that, I get accused, okay? I'm a lot of things, okay? But I'm not full of it. And I'm trying to BS anyone. I get accused when I say this is the single solitary greatest time to be an artist photographer in the history of mankind. The fact that you can just turn your phone on and be having a chat like that with people and actively selling and then turn it off and merchandising your pieces is insane. It's insane. Yeah, we had websites before, and I get that, and that's fantastic. But no joke, with this live face-to-face video selling, you are opening your store on Main Street of the interwebs. You can open that thing up whenever you want and see what happens. You never know, right? You never know. So next for you is, I would be convinced the number one metric in your business right now is how many face-to-face chats can you schedule and go through your art? I would email your entire list. I would say to the list, show's still open. I know this COVID dumpster fire of a situation, everything's closed. I know you can't make it to New York, but one of the things that I would just love to do, I'm willing to do a one-on-one art show for any of you that are seriously interested in any of the pieces. And then get into the gallery, fire the phone up, start it, walk through, give them a private curated show. I think that would probably be the highest ROI use of your time, with the caveat of you want to make sure that it's a qualified buyer, right?
Right. So you would like just do that. You would email blast your list that anybody who's seriously interested in the work should let me know, and I'll do a private face to face,
Yep.
and then you would just
Yep. And you say we'll
as a
do
phone
Zoom,
call, like
we'll do
time.
Zoom, we'll do FaceTime, we'll do whatever tech you have, doesn't matter to me, but I'll walk you through the show, give you a private tour, talk about the pieces that I loved. Like you got your show up, which is awesome, right? Which is not easy to do, and the fact you pulled it off in Chelsea is even crazier to me, especially given how hard of a run they've had it. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would try to get as much ROI. Like, look, there's nowhere sexier to have all your work hanging in a gallery, right? You want as many people to see that as possible. And the fact that like if I'm on your list and I get this email, wait a minute, he'll book a private showing with just me to go walk through the whole thing. Let me tell you, there is some powerful psychology of reciprocation at play with that one too. So that's what I would do.
I'm on it, Patrick. I'm going to do it now. Can I? Would this? Is it also all right? I was gonna do like blast the email and let everybody know that I'm gonna go. I have been doing the Instagram live things just spontaneously. I haven't announced it to
Yeah.
anybody, right?
Yeah.
But if I blasted the email list and I was like, okay, well, next Thursday I'm gonna be at the gallery live.
Yeah, I would try. I would do one of those too. I ran one inside of a gallery, by the way. Did you see that one?
No, on the podcast, I didn't see it, but I heard you talking about the
Yeah,
one you did for Walker.
it's really good. Well, I should say it's really good. Like the gallery in question. Sorry questions. I know we're going long on this one, but the gallery in question was like some like bank in the 1800s, so it had like old school hardwood floors and high ceilings. So it was like a little echoey, but what an amazing concept, right? Like a live art show after your work has been professionally hung in a gallery with professional lighting. Like amazing, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do that, but I mean, I could do the Instagram live.
Yeah. I would do that. I would hype it up and I would go for it.
Okay, part two of the question, and this is like kind of hits the to the heart of the matter, right?
Yep.
I did the second flash sale
Mhm.
Instagram live last night, and I haven't gotten like there's been no traction on it, right?
Yep.
And I think that hits to the other thing you said we would learn from the flash sale. If we don't get any sales, then we don't have the right list, right? So
Well,
I'm gonna do the flash, like,
not even necessarily that. Like, you heard me go into the rant about the paradigm, right? Like in the middle, the minute you artists or photographers hear art show, instantaneously the paradigm is months of planning, this huge drawn out thing. I got to get everything ready to go and get my script. No. You want to know why you don't need to do any of that? Because it doesn't cost you anything to run one of these. You can run one in 2 seconds. Hit the button on, go for it, and end it. No one watched it, then no one watched it. Who cares? Now go do 1,000 of them. Do 1,000 of them.
My question is, I'm on number 2 out of 1,000. My
Yeah.
question is directly about the people on my list. A lot of them are art world people, artists, other artists, and critics, and writers and stuff, not really mostly serious buyers. And I knew that before going into it, that there probably weren't a lot of serious buyers on my list because of the way I've been cultivating, the whole.
Yep.
So I knew that was going to be a problem. That's why I was super surprised when it actually worked and better than I thought it would. Now I'm saying, like, so is there something I can do about that? I know long-term.
More leads. Yeah, you got to just get more leads. This is another one of those things that is just an issue. It's like all artists and photographers just follow other artists and photographers. It's like all you guys compliment each other on your work and saying how inspiring it is. You're like, okay, there's no button on the ATM machine for inspired or compliments. And so, that's a huge problem. But yeah, just know this. Get through your show. You've seen a small taste of my tricks. Wait till you get on the inside. We'll help you out big time.
Okay, thanks a lot, Patrick.
Yeah. Okay. I love hearing that, though. Like somebody takes your advice and sold 4 pieces. Like that just wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening before. Okay, it's going to go Greg Rogers, then Cash, then Robert. Greg, you're up. What's your question, Greg?
Okay. I guess I'm looking at it as a first-time arrival here to see if I'm ready to go, and is it going to be worth it from a financial standpoint? But do you all have any information about what the break-even point is in terms of it costs this much for y'all to do it? How much?
I know where you're going.
Yeah.
I got to call you out on it, Greg, because it's the same thing my mom does when she sits down with her financial advisor. She asks the crystal ball question, right? Am I going to have enough money for retirement? And the guy's like, how long are you going to live? What are the health conditions going to be? What's going to happen with the economy, right? And the takeaway is that you can't compare your beginning to anyone else's beginning, or your middle to anyone else's middle, or your end to anyone else's end. It all differs and varies on like a million different circumstances. What I would say is step one.
There's a fixed cost that's associated with.
For sure,
coming with
for
you all, right?
sure.
Yeah.
But some people break even within the first 24 hours, and some people don't break even for an entire year. And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't varnish it or inflate luck balloons. Like everyone's got a different style, different scenario, different circumstances on the ground. Maybe they've done some marketing, maybe they haven't, maybe they're really good at it. I mean, what we do, what we've put together, the plans that we put together, I believe are the best. Period in the market for artists and photographers, but we can't pick racehorses. We can't give you guarantees. What I would say is, step one, and this is a big one, is your art or photography well and truly validated? Have you sold your art and or photography to people not named mom or dad or brother or sister or best friends? If you've done that, if you've done that in any significant quantity, then I believe that your art is validated, your photography is validated. You've determined that you have a product that the market wants. If that's the case, it just comes down to marketing and you're good to go. How much time do you have? How much energy do you have to put into your marketing? And you go like that. But what scares me about your question is, and by the way, I've been at this a long time entrepreneur. I've asked the same damn question, so trust me, I know. Okay, this is not like the pot calling the kettle black or anything like that. Like
Sure.
If you feel like your product is well and truly validated, and if you feel like you can be in a position where you can dedicate a large amount of time to get to the answer, by which I mean like a year or 2 years. Yeah. See, look at Deb in the chat, right? So she's in the chat, and she's not even supposed to be on this call because she's a customer. I covered my expenses in the first 2 weeks. Deb, stop that. You're not helping me. You need to dedicate, be able to dedicate in your mind enough time to give yourself a chance to succeed, right? I don't want you playing the lotto. I don't want you walking into the craps table at Vegas. Like, say, I might pull this off in 2 months. I might pull it off in 6 months. It might take me a year, but I'm not quitting for a year, right? That's what I would say.
Okay. I mean, I've got one painting where I've got 50 people wanting to order the print right now, and I haven't done any marketing yet. I just
why don't you sell those prints? Why haven't you sold them?
I was trying to figure out how to get it printed.
Okay.
I mean, that's how new I am at this thing. I painted this painting, and I've got people.
So here's what you're gonna do. Here's what you're gonna do, and trust me, ASF Prints. April's gonna put it in the chat. Okay. This is integrated with our biggest print vendor, which is on the East Coast. It's called Graphic Dimensions. They do a phenomenal job. You're not going to have any problems. Get 3 or 4 of them printed and sell 3 or 4. Then take orders on all the rest.
Okay. Second question, if you don't mind.
No.
Obviously, that's about hanging artwork. Do you all ever do anything, or do you recommend? I did a whole series during this COVID time of chalk art. Mm-hmm. That obviously goes away every time it rains. But I had it go viral, hit 1.5 million views, 85,000 shares. So there's a lot of people that have liked it and have thought about putting it into a book, all the photographs of it. Do you all do work with that kind of a medium?
Yeah, I mean, well, look, you can get it photographed and you can reproduce it, or you could get it photographed and put it into a book and sell the book.
And you can put it on in your site.
It
can be done
all
there.
day.
It doesn't have to be hanging on.
Yeah, all day. My guess is, unless that you're telling me those stats are from TikTok, and I believe TikTok about as far as I could, throw TikTok.
Yeah, no, it's Facebook.
Yeah, if it went that viral, you're ready, dude. Put in a demo request. We can help you out tremendously. It sounds like you have validation and then some. No joke.
Okay.
Straight up. Yeah. April put the link in there. Like, get on the phone with one of our guys. You've got it. But if you've got 50 people and they've got the credit card out of the wallet, hanging it like that, do that first. Go and get that credit card first. Let's start there, right?
All right. And you guys could help me with the print if I needed. I've struggled to find someone that did the right quality of print job.
Yeah, I mean, you know what the reality is? I mean, somebody's going to be a printer on this thing, and they're going to hate me for this, but it's just true. Printing's just become a commodity. And what do I mean? Everyone has the same printers. Everyone has the same inks. The technology is so good that there's not really like a whole degree of, oh my gosh, I have the best color correction ever, and mine will be perfect. It's all just a commodity. And so what's happened is all the small mom and pops are going out of business because they can't afford to compete with the big guys. They can't afford to compete with economies of scale, cheaper paper prices, being located out of state and getting cheaper rent. And then, my goodness, so we use Bay Photo on the West Coast and we use Graphic Dimensions on the East Coast. And it's like, when you're printing and shipping $30-40 million worth of stuff a year, you should see what the FedEx bill is, right? Like no one else can afford to pay the shipping, right? Like they get the lowest, craziest rates ever. So the quality thing, like as long as you're not going to your local Costco, you're going to like a good high quality merchant, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
You're getting no problems
Very
at
good.
all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate your
Yeah.
help.
And
See ya.
congrats on
Bye.
that. Now I really want to see the chalk paintings, by the way. If you can, put a link in the chat. I think everybody would like to see this. Okay, Cash Monet, you're up.
Awesome. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for chatting. Okay, I'm going to try to make this quick. So basically, I've heard you talk a lot about doing the live videos.
Yes.
For me, I sometimes ramble a little bit if I am doing live videos. I'm just basically not super comfortable in front of the camera. Is there anything other than just like working on my confidence? Like I kind of like the idea, I guess, of staying a little bit more anonymous. Like I like having the art just speak for itself. I also find that if I'm doing live videos and maybe people are asking me questions and everything, then I sometimes just don't like the idea of having to go so deep into the meaning of a painting, because I feel like everyone can just come up with their own interpretation of it. And frankly, sometimes with some of my work, I've gotten lots of really good feedback, but sometimes I don't necessarily think so deep into it. So why do I have to really explain absolutely everything from A to Z, right?
I don't think you have to explain. I don't think you have to explain absolutely everything. A couple of things. One, prior to COVID, okay, I've been working this company 5 years and change. You never saw my face on a single solitary video. Not one. You want to know why? Because I hate being on video. I loathe being on video. I wanted to stay anonymous too. I saw the writing on the wall. Video is the most powerful communication tool that exists to us, period, full stop. Since then, I've gone live sometimes 3 times a day for 5 to 6 days a week since pre-COVID. Why? Because I saw the opportunity in what live broadcasting offers the market, and I'm a marketing guy. You just need some reps and sets. You'll get more comfortable. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, right? Like, this is one of my favorite things to say too, is because you can't call BS on me, right? I'm not some guru, or I didn't take someone's course. I am a practitioner. I've got dirt under the fingernails to show it. I'm doing this every day, day in, day out. This thing right now, it's a Zoom call with you guys on it. I'm streaming it to Facebook. I'm streaming it to YouTube. I'm streaming it to Twitter. I'm dealing with comments down here. I'm learning. I'm getting better at it because it's the future. And I'm not someone that's sitting here telling you, go save the environment as I leave that event and go get on my private jet, right? Like, I'm living it, you can't, it works. It's phenomenal. There's a reason that you heard Otor come on, just earlier. Did I hack his name again? I don't know. And he sold 4 pieces. Like, I have never seen the level of success for artists or photographers as I have this direct video selling. It is absolutely the future. It is the single solitary biggest change to happen in the art market, I would say, at least in the last 20 years. And pretty much every single solitary person that sells in any capacity up and down the stack is going to figure this out quickly. Once they do, it's going to lose a bunch of its Ophir. I got it now. I'm terrible with names, Ophir. Thank you. It's going to lose its arbitrage soon. So after saying all that, I would say 2 things. One, you have to decide if you can fight through all that, okay, and get better at it and get the reps and sets in and practice and agree with me on that, or if you want someone else to sell your work for you. But that's much harder. It's much easier said than done doing it on your own, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah, so basically just gain confidence, practice, and get over it. Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason I told Ophir, and I tell all of our customers, like, Patrick, I just did my first flash sale. I just did my first live art show. I just did my first live merchandising. How'd it go? I had tech issues. Imagine my surprise. You always have tech issues. I had tech issues this morning. I dropped the camera. Something completely out of left field happened. I didn't realize that something else was wrong, but I had a lot of fun, right? And I say the same thing every time. Now go run it. Now go do 1,000 of them. This thing is an elevator inside of a skyscraper, and we don't know how high up the skyscraper goes, but it's a big one. And the doors are closing on the ground floor. It is so new that no one has it all figured out, okay? There is no reason to be scared about it or worried about it. I mean, my favorite show on ESPN, a huge soccer fan in ESPN FC, like all of the hosts of that show are at home because of COVID times with crappy lighting in either like the old school Apple earbuds in, the wired ones with like one of them hanging down, like the dog is barking on the set. Like, this is the new reality that we live in. And it just works. So you got to just get the reps and sets in. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if I don't want to be speaking so in depth about my art pieces, I can just kind of do like
no. Do you. There's no one that's telling you have to speak so in depth at all. I mean, just be you. That's it. Be you. Merchandise and hold the work. Yeah. And do it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And with a name like Cash Monet, I mean, you're already way out the starting blocks with that one. It's got a good ring to it. I like it. Thanks for the question.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, Robert Wilson, you are up next. Robert, go ahead.
Hey, thanks for having me, and great information here. I'm already into it and off and rolling. So
wonderful. Thanks, Seth.
Listen, man, I don't have a website as of now, and I was wondering, could the storefront serve as my source? My main source for sites, and should I set up a site? And I really want to look at making my approach into this thing fresh, new, but going in a format that you see works from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, let's back up to the validation piece first. Do you feel like your art is well and truly validated? Have you sold some of it to non-family members, friends, and people that know you?
I have, and I've sold a lot. I've sold individually. I've sold at some shows. I've been invited to commercial places to present my work, and I've done so. And I've been in a fortunate space to it. So I just want to ramp it up and pretty much get off the couch with it in a sense.
You're ready to go then. Request a demo. We can help. If you feel well and truly validated, and if you got that sorted, then it's just a game of getting the site up. We have super robust customer service. We get most people live within 14 days, and then it's into your active marketing. And then especially important to stay in the community, right? Like, we do these Zoom calls because it's sort of a taste of what our customers get. And we run, once you get up and humming and through like onboarding and initial website setup and what all the techniques and tactics that we recommend you do to sort of celebrate the launch of your website and get your first sales, then you're into regular bi-weekly Zoom calls. It's like college that just never ends. Just week in, week out, teaching you, work in the program, getting your questions answered, and you just start working on the marketing. Everything else just flows from there.
Sweet. Now that would include the Instagram and Facebook.
Everything, all of it, everything, full tactical. Great. Yeah.
One other question, other thing, pricing tips. You've seen a lot, and you've been out there seeing what sells and what works.
Yep.
I have a lot of photography that I do, and some paintings as well.
Okay.
Do you have any tips on that, and is that included in the program?
Yeah, so we start with a recommended markup of 250%, and we apply that just site-wide across the board. That's just what we recommend anyway. But pricing is there's a science to it for sure. But everyone gets so wrapped up in thinking that the price is going to dictate and change everything. Guess what? Little secret, industry secret, don't tell anyone. You can change your prices at any time, and no one will know. No one will know because no one's seeing them. That's number one. Number two, discounting, okay, which everyone gets wound up on, is a very, very important way of selling anything, period. Okay, people, we are humans. We are wired, psychologically speaking. There are certain triggers that get us to take action, okay? When you have a sale, the discount becomes the incentive, and the scarcity, meaning it's going to end, becomes the incentive. And if you have those two things, you win. So it's like, you could price your work, and you could say, I want to get $1,000, or I want to get $750, let's say, for this piece. Price it at $1,000. And then, Robert, you come in and you say, I really like this piece. Well, I normally sell it for $1,000, but you're a first-time buyer. I like taking care of first-time buyers. Why don't I give it to you for $750? But you'd have to buy it today. Are you interested in that, Robert? Boom. Yeah. Right? So, yeah. See, the point is it helps to have some margin built in so you can do that, It's when you don't that you get in trouble. And it's funny, too, because we'll have, I would say, like, probably 3 out of 50 new customers that come on that are terrified, I mean mortified about raising their prices. They won't do it. And sometimes we just do it for them and don't tell them, and tell them after the fact. Or sometimes we force their husbands or wives to get on the computer and just change all of them for them. Because this is the beauty of art or photography, completely arbitrary. There's no basis for comparison, right? Like, you get to charge what you want to charge. There's no baseline understanding of what it is. You're not getting price shopped, at Amazon or at Walmart, right? Like, it's your art. So you got a ton of room. You can change it anytime. But yeah, we give guidance like that all year long.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thanks for that guidance. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's what we do. It's what we do, Robert. It's what we do.
Absolutely.
All right.
Shout
Thanks.
to New York.
All right. Thanks. Have a good weekend, Robert. Okay. It's going to go Wesley, then McKenna, then Susan. I see the questions on YouTube. I see the questions in the chat. I'll get those right afterwards. Okay, Wesley, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I listened in on the, I don't know if it was a podcast or there was some presentation on how to handle trolls.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that advice.
Oh, it's the worst.
Everything
it's the worst.
Said was very true.
We should bring that up. 1 second, Wesley. Will you put that April in the show notes? And by the way, Taylor mentioned it at the top, but all the links and everything that we include will automatically get emailed to you. That myself and the CEO, this was 2 days ago, like we had an artist in the private group that just got eviscerated by somebody on a Facebook comment. Like, was just painted by a 2-year-old. It looked like somebody spreading drywall mud with a trowel, like just a vicious comment, right? And she was totally down in the depths and bummed out about it. And so we did, we call it the Art Business Morning Show, which you guys should all totally subscribe to. It's awesome. But we did a show specifically talking about how to deal with trolls on the internet that come and leave you nasty comments about your work or anything else, because it happens all the time to everybody. It's terrible. So a way to think about it, a way to get through it. It'll be in the show notes. I'll send it to you, but I think you guys should really listen to it. It's a good one. But thank you for that, Wesley. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an artist. I run a gallery.
Yeah.
And but I have the same risk. But I can't imagine artists and having to field those
brutal.
kinds of
it's brutal. It's brutal.
The one thing I did, I have a variation of that same thing in my household. I have 2 female trolls here, my wife and my daughter.
Careful.
Yeah. I can't block them.
Yeah.
One of the paintings, the painting in my collection, they hate the worst. I mean, they're constantly complaining about it, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, why did you buy that? When are you going to get rid of that?
Yeah.
Well, guess what sold last night?
Of course. Of course. Yeah.
The painting that they hated and think it's the absolute worst one, which goes to your point that I think you were making earlier, that the market is what has to decide. None of us know what's going to sell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're true to our own eye and vision, and get it out there, get it appropriately marketed, get a great website so there's no friction like you guys are offering everyone, and see what happens. You got to take a shot. If you don't take a shot, you're never going to know.
That's right.
So anyway, I really do appreciate that advice. It's so true, just about everything else you guys have shared with me so far. So I have shipping is the issue right now.
Yep.
That is the thing in my in my drain that's clogging my drain right now, Patrick. So I just have
Wesley,
you know
what I'm going to answer. You know what I'm going to answer. The hardest thing to do is make a sale. The least hardest thing to do.
Yeah, don't worry about the shipping.
The least hardest thing to do is anything that happens after the sale. That anything that happens after the sale is easy.
All right. Let me start with the one that killed the sale. Okay. If you want to make sure that I'm getting sales, this is a shipping issue that came up that I want to hear how you guys are handling this. So I'm set up, have automated calculation of the shipping based on the address you put in and all that, right? But the vendor I'm dealing with right now doesn't have a very good relationship set up so you can do it internationally, across borders, right? So I'm not currently set up to sell into Canada. Well, what happened early this week? A Canadian buyer came in. I'm tracking these guys with Google Analytics. They got all the way to the checkout. One of my items, decent priced item, and of course they were told that I don't ship to Canada.
Well, definitely take that off. Definitely take that off.
Okay, so how do you manage that, the international shipping? I mean, because that seems like a real hassle to me.
It's not. The only thing to and your connection was spiking. Like I don't know if you're at like low bandwidth or what, but your mic levels are going way up and down. So I'm gonna mute you just so I can hear. The hardest thing to do is get the sale. Full stop. Anything after getting the sale is easy in comparison. So what would I do if I was in your case? I would take the shipping completely off the website, remove it out of the friction, and just say shipping to be determined upon call and have a call. You're not selling 50 pieces a day. You can call each of those people and work out the shipping, work out the best way to do it. People understand that they need to pay shipping, or price the work higher to accommodate for the shipping. Raise the prices on everything $1,000. Hire somebody from Craigslist to do the packing, do the shipping, so you don't even have to think about it. That's what I would do. Shipping is a non-issue. Shipping is in the drain for sure, Wesley. Got to pull that thing out. Full stop. Get the sale. Okay. Getting the sale hard. Everything else easy.
I hear you.
All right.
I hear you. Okay. So yeah, I've seen the advice where, if you really want to create a frictionless shipping situation, you just roll it into the price, and then, like you say,
the prices you're charging, no one usually buys anything over $2,500 without some sort of sales consultation. There's individual items here or there, but the higher the price your items go, especially the ones that are really selling high priced items on our store, almost every one of those high price sales they have, there's a phone conversation that takes place. Iron it out then. Easy. Just get the sale. Get the sale.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That'll unclog the drain for sure.
Good.
Okay. One other quick shipping question.
Yep.
And this is something I think, maybe some of the artists have this same issue. One of my big margin killers is getting the object shipped to me, because again, I'm buying generally at auction, and then it has to be shipped. And try to get an auction house these days to take ownership of the shipping. It's ridiculous. So you're always having to make these arrangements. And of course, you never get the best prices. You're paying full retail, right?
Yep.
Do you guys have some arrangement where the artist, maybe for their materials, or in my case, I'm a gallery, can get the better rates for things that are shipped to my location?
We don't, because the originals the originals are the originals, right? Everyone has to ship those from their own house, so we don't have some sort of global account for it. So you just kind of have to deal with the shipping. I mean, the shipping is just a part of the business. But it's again, Wesley, get the sale. Don't worry about anything else. Get the sale. You get the sale, everything else is downhill. Like, look, if it costs money, it costs money. It goes into your cost of goods sold. Build it into it. Like, that's the nature of it, right? Some businesses just there's good and there's bad. Price the shipping in. I would just price the shipping in and just say free shipping. Aside from international call for quote. That's probably what I would do. But that's something you can play with, Wesley. But thank you for the call. Okay, next is Rakenna. Rakenna, you're up next. Rakenna, go ahead.
Hi.
Hey.
Yes, I have a couple of questions.
Shoot, yeah.
This is my first time ever plugging into the Zoom call and actually understanding about, what you do.
How's it going?
Understanding what you do.
How's it going so far? Are you enjoying yourself, hopefully?
Say that again.
How's it going so far? Are you enjoying yourself, hopefully?
So far, so good.
All right,
very informative.
Good.
So I have a couple of questions. So the one is, I guess, if I had your storefront, would you have a way? I have a family full of artists, and they've been asking me questions like I'm the only one that's trying to sell online. They're very hesitant about doing it because they feel like people can just download your artwork.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another one of those wonderful. Who put that in their head? Not anyone that's selling any work. Not anyone that's ever had that happen to him in a million years. I could make an argument 10,000 ways to Sunday that the greatest form of flattery and marketing moment you could have is 10,000 people downloading your work and printing it. In fact, there are multiple stories of musicians that this happened to that exploded as a result of all that music being downloaded for free. Right? Like, there's so many different ways to spin it, but it's just nonsense. It's not happening. Do you have any idea the sheer number of free images that are on the internet and people that own printers that can actually print it out? Like this, whoever told your family that is, I want to drive to the house, take the glove off, slap them, pistols at noon, duel, right? Like, nonsense. It's nonsense. And then your poor family have not taken substantive steps in their career because of it, because of nonsense. Add that one to the list. I've heard it
They have
before.
limited themselves to
For sure, for just nonsense. And like I talk about those 5 pillars, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's a sales pitch." It's like it's not. That's like a perfect example. But anyway, sorry, got fired up there.
Well, one of them said, "Is there any way you can?" Because they want to join me, but
yeah. So you could come aboard. You could come aboard, and if you there's a couple of different ways to spin it, right? You could come aboard, get going on yours, be successful, and then say, "See, you guys should have followed me all along." Number 2, you could sign up for what's like an art gallery plan, and you could just make it a family gallery and put all of their stuff in there. Option number 3 is actually, I don't know if option number 3 is viable or not. I don't know. You'd have to. I would once you get further along your journey, because I don't fully understand all the intricacies of the plan. I can barely even handle the marketing department. We've got so much going on. So when you're ready, put in a demo. What happens on the demo, by the way, is they call you. It's like an exploratory call of like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. Ask whatever questions you want. And then if you want to schedule it after that, fine. If you don't, that's okay too. And they won't harass you, but they know all like the little intricacies of those questions and the cost. But that's what I would do.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That was kind of going to be my next question because I have so many questions. I already have a website. I'm not selling one thing on the website.
Yep, done. That's why you need a new one. Finished, full stop.
Yeah.
I know. It's hard. It's hard. We get this all the time, and it's like, I spent thousands on it, or I've been working on it for 4 years, or I really love it. And my response is like, how much is it selling for you? And then usually it's like, well, none. And it's like, okay, well then we got to get rid of it, don't we? It's not doing anything for you. You're not making forward steps, right? Like,
yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I sell my work. I use it kind of indirectly. Like they'll say, "Well, do you have a website?" I give them the website. They're like, "Oh, so like almost like I'm legitimate, like I have a website."
It's not worthless, right? Like it's a portfolio that just gives you a little bit of help. It's certainly better than not having one, period, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And I sell a lot of it word of mouth. I mean, people just send it to somebody else. Like right now, they're sharing all my pictures, and I'm getting work that way. But I would like to actually sell stuff online. So I need maybe an hour or something to talk to somebody, or I guess that's what would be covered in the demo.
Yep.
Is that?
Yep. They'll walk you through and show you all the bells and whistles. But there's 2 calls, right? There's like the, hey, Rakenna, so and so on the outboarding or on reach team from Art Storefronts. What questions do you have? What can I answer? What can I get clarified? If you feel like it's a good fit, then they schedule the demo, which is like 45 minutes or an hour or something like that, to walk through all the software, all the bells, all the whistles. There's so much stuff to show. It would make the Zoom calls too long, so we stopped doing it and just stick to high level here. But yeah, and there's no commitment or anything, and our people they don't harass you. It's like, hey, dude, it's not a fit. Don't call me. And they'll be like, cool, I won't. But yeah, we don't do that. So yeah, my pleasure. It could be kind of fun though, big picture, kind of, if you had like, well, it might erode your business, but if you really did all have a family that big, I don't know if I've seen anyone do like family of artists gallery. Like that would be kind of cool. Maybe a little angle there. But then again, if you do all the marketing and you're driving sales to their sites and they're not doing any marketing, the last thing we want to do is put a wedge in family. Family's difficult enough as is. So anyway, some thoughts there. Susan Ross, you're up next. Go ahead, Susan.
Okay. I talked to you once before.
Okay.
I had been going away because of all the reasons that we all know from being an artist anymore, right? I have a body of work. Some of it has sort of gotten famous, but it's not copyrighted. It's out in the public. It actually is part of my brand now because of that. So I think that you were right. People stealing your work doesn't hurt a thing.
No.
It's out there.
Yeah.
It builds your reputation.
Absolutely it does.
But that said, I'm right now I'm doing this coaching, right? And part of the coaching is people making huge career shifts, right? Not just career shifts, but life changes as a result of COVID, going into the uncertainty with a positive attitude because it's a huge opportunity.
Yep.
I'm gonna keep that going. Right now, being totally non-tech, I've really sort of stumbled along because I started remonetizing this business last November or October, and then signed up for a little website build with GoDaddy, not knowing what that would even look like. And now it's sort of like, I'm sort of going, do I even need that? Or maybe I just have a one-page landing page that.
Is this to sell your art or is this to sell the coaching?
Well, it was to sell the coaching. But then when I saw your site, I thought, these people have a brilliant idea. This is probably the only thing that's going to work anymore. Big galleries, I don't want to deal with that anymore. There's no way.
No, it's not sustainable.
And so this for me is a very possible thing, but I can't technically, I think, take it on at the same time I'm trying to get my coaching thing online.
Yeah.
I had to do the big pivot in January when I figured out, I'm going to be totally virtually for the rest of my life. That's the way it works.
Yep.
And so that's what I've been working my butt off on. And so I think like, well, I don't know that I am going to catch the holiday crowd this year, you know?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I mean, look, it's like anything else, right? Like,
they're really important because it's like, what do I drop? What do I keep going with, right? Because I got to get my coaching thing together. I may just get Kajabi or something where it's a platform that covers the ground, and stop dealing with, adding things onto my own WordPress page.
Yeah, I mean, if that's like, this is weird because I'm now consulting in the digital marketing of coaching, which is a little bit outside my lane, but that's all right. I'm up to the task.
Yeah.
You know what I would do if I were in your situation? Send emails about the class and get a Venmo account. No website at all that you have to tinker with in the slightest. Just say, hey, want to sign up to the class? Here's my Venmo. Pay me. And then teach the class on Zoom. And just don't have any technical debt in your life, period. That's what I would do.
Well, that would be sort of cool. I mean, that may be where I end up.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I think like, okay, if I'm going to make this investment, I think I probably have to, I need to have that in place and running because it will bring me income. I know that. That's a proven point already. Whether the art will right away or not, I don't know. But that said, I have a friend. I mean, last time I talked to you, I said, yeah, I've got a friend who could probably, shoot my work. It'll all be two-dimensional. He does that kind of work. He's got, he's a professional photographer, does that kind of work.
Yep.
But I need to know how much. I mean, that right at the beginning, somebody was asking how many pieces, and I thought like, well, I got to be fair to him. I can't ask him to do a huge amount of work, just hoping that it's going to work.
Nope. So what I would do is I would use the iPhone, and this is the same advice that goes to Wesley, just a different variation. Yeah. I would use my iPhone or get someone to use the iPhone. I would take pictures of all the work. I would put them up on the website. I would sell them. Once the order came in, i.e. the hard part, I would contact that buyer up and say, let's say, Susan, you came to my site and you bought, hey, Susan, thanks so much for the purchase. I just wanted to let you know, let me hear me out. I just wanted to let you know that I'm getting my work rephotographed to make higher quality reproductions. It's going to take about 2 weeks. If you're cool with waiting, you'll get a much higher quality print. Is that okay? And no one is not going to say okay. Then I would go and get your buddy to photograph it and say, I've got one for you to photograph because I just sold it. Till you sell it, don't worry about that.
And the question is then I want to sign up with you because I want to get it all printed through your people.
Yeah, it's no problem at all. No problem.
That moves me onto your
ecosystem. Yes, our platform. Yeah. Yes, all of that works. All of that's all good. But don't spread yourself too thin, Susan. I worry like there's technical debt like to learning a new platform and learning a new thing. And then when you're super fragmented and trying to launch 2 businesses at once, unless you're Elon Musk, that usually doesn't pencil. So that's what I would say, big picture. But good question, Susan. Thank you. Okay, Mary Rembrandt, you're back. And by the way, you, Mary Rembrandt, should go into business with Cash Monet. Between the two of you, with the two of you, like we're really starting to tick some boxes here.
Rembrandt is Cash Monet.
Yeah. I love it.
Well, it's good to see you again.
Yeah.
Okay, now it just went clean out in my head. Oh, rats. Okay, well, one thing that does come to mind, I did have some questions.
Yeah.
One that does come to mind is that point that you made about don't worry about somebody like taking your work. So basically what you're saying is don't worry about like the whole watermarking or anything like that.
No, it's complete nonsense. Like the thought that there's someone out there that is downloading work off the internet and reproducing it and making millions. Do you have any idea how damn hard it is to sell art and photography? You got to be good at it. No one is downloading it and printing it and depriving you of money. This is, God, it's just nonsense. There is not a single solitary person that I've come across in the 7 years of this. One troll on Facebook really tried to convince me. We got into it like back and forth 15 times. I was like, where is the person? Where is the news article? Give me their phone number. I will drive to their house and I want to see the prints. It just doesn't happen. Yeah. It's nonsense.
Yeah. And actually, when you were talking, what you reminded me of, and I guess this is what you meant, was Napster.
Yeah.
Which opened up a whole new world of everything.
Yeah.
But it's still not coming back to me.
Have you got your work on samples yet?
Have I got my what?
Work printed on samples yet? Like we
Not
talked about.
yet. That's coming very soon. That's
Very
coming
soon.
like wait, what's today? Friday. So next week.
Next week, done. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
You have nothing else to focus
Yeah.
on but that. Focus on that. Get in position to do your merchandising.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I am setting up for my show that's coming most likely the end of this month.
Huge. Congrats. You're taking the steps.
Doing my
You're
best.
about to find out. That's how it goes. I'm proud of you, Mary. That's awesome. It'll all change once you get those things. You can start going live. So, a part of Mary's question, and a couple other people asked it online, what's the easiest way to validate if your art or photography will sell, right? Pre-COVID times, I would always advocate for doing a show, like doing a farmer's market, something along those lines, because, again, what's the best way to sell? Face-to-face, right? That's kind of gone and been blown to smithereens. And so now it's doing a live art show on the socials and just talking about your art and see if you can sell anything. And we have, April put a link to sort of a playbook we have on it that you can use to find out. Now, the difficulty is if you've got 2 followers on Instagram and 1 follower on Facebook, you're not going to get a ton of action, right? So you're not going to get a good idea. So you kind of, whatever it takes to get it in front of like as many eyeballs as possible. Like live on a busy corner. Okay. Geographical benefit to you. Get some easels, set everything up on the driveway and sit out there for 8 hours on a Saturday, see what happens, right? Could you get some people to purchase? Do you get people interested enough? Or are they just saying, okay, great work, and then they leave, right? And you need to take a couple of cracks at it. But we've had multiple people that, they don't have a business page on Facebook, but they have 2,500 friends on Facebook, and they go onto Facebook and they turn the phone on and they hold the work up and they're like, guys, COVID sucks. Trying to launch my next business. Everybody likes to take a poke at something, shared mutual suffering. COVID sucks. As a result of this dumpster fire, I'm trying to do what I can to get my business launched. Here's my portfolio of work. I would normally sell it for such and such. Because of these times, I'm willing to sell it for this. If anyone's interested, send me a DM. Leave a comment here. If you got my number, text me. If you want to email me, here's my email address. I take Venmo and PayPal. I know you're on Zoom calls all day and your backgrounds look terrible, okay? So let's spruce those things up a little bit. That's what I would do. That's the quickest way to validate right now. And, we're seeing a ton of people get like huge success with it. It's working. And why not, get a little help from the extended family and friends. But, somebody from high school from 20 years ago bought something, that's technically validation because, yeah, they know you, but not really, right? It was high school, it was a long time ago. So that's where it is. Okay, it looks like, Taylor, you've covered up the rest of the questions. Guys, I think we'll leave it there. We are having, we should mention, always forget to mention, we're aware that the COVID is on. We're aware that it's hurting economically. So we're having summer sale. I think it's called the summer sale. That's going on right now until the end of the month. So whatever number of days that are left to qualify, all you have to do is get the demo in and you're set, and they could talk to you about it and explain to you what percentage off you get on all of the things. But we're trying to help. The reality is Q4 is coming, okay? Q4 is the single solitary biggest art and photography buying time of the year traditionally. It's not even close. We think as a result of COVID, as a result of people being at home more often, as a result that home decor items are exploding in sales across the board, biggest quarter ever for like Etsy, biggest quarter ever for Wayfair, massive growth. Why? Everyone's at home. Everyone is finally bored enough of their white walls to do something about it, right? Or their walls to do something about it. So, depending on what color they are. So now Q4 is coming. People still at home. Probably going to be some new outbreaks here or there and everything else with the winter weather. More disposable income on hand because there's been no nights out, no restaurants, no events, no fancy travel, no concerts. So we believe that it's going to probably be the biggest sales term on Q4 for artists and photographers that's happened certainly in the last like 10 to 15 years. And the whole home decor segment just continues to be strong through this whole thing. So I think there is still time between now and then to get up, to get running, to get live, and most importantly, to get the high ROI marketing training that will give you guys the best shot to capitalize on it. So that's where I'll leave it. To find out more, like I said, request a demo. Otherwise, see you live somewhere. Doing it 5-6 days a week, on all the time. Pop on, say hi. And thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. All right.